Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher. And this is my first video after finishing the 31 days of the Inktober Tangles for 2021. So it's fun to be back to doing a regular video of my choosing. And today I'm going to show you the pattern Why Not by HyunJu Park. And with that, I'll be using the patterns Meer and Porcelain by Dina Schaffer, CZT. So I had a lot of storms earlier this morning. I'm in the Houston area, and I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to do a video today, but it's cleared up a little bit for now. We were even under tornado warnings. Excuse me. So this, in the very center of this tile, is the pattern Why Not. Now, I'm not going to teach this method on this tile. It is called map tangling, and I took a class on that, and I'll try to remember to put that in the description. But what I want to show you is how to do this pattern. I have been busy playing with it. There's one version. This is what I'm going to teach today. So this is Meer and Porcelain. And this one is the same thing, but I don't like how the colors came out. And then here's another one that I've done. So I've been busy playing with it. And when I first started following the step outs, it was a little bit confusing. Well, not confusing, but I didn't do well on my first tiles. But I want to show you how she says to do the original steps that's on tanglepatterns.com. And I'm going to start by just doing a square. And I already had it down here in pencil so that you wouldn't have to watch me try to make an even square. And now we're going to just put diagonal line from corner to corner. Oh, I didn't get exactly to the corner, but it's okay. It helps to do that first, but sometimes I still don't get it right. Okay, so the way that she has you do the step outs is we're going to right in the center of each of these, and it should line up with that center point. We're going to put a dot. And then I'm going to come to this one that's pointing to the right, and I'm going to put a line that's parallel with this line. And then we're just going to turn it as if this is a tile and do that in each one. Okay, so each time it helps to have your tile facing that direction, the triangle that you're working in. Okay, so the next thing is from that same original dot, we're going to make a line that should be pointing to that dot and parallel with this. Okay, we're going to do that in each one. So I'm going to just see if I'm lining up, trying to keep that parallel. Same thing here. Okay. Okay, so it's coming together. Now one more line. This one is going to be parallel with this, and with that center line, go straight up. Okay, Same thing with this one. Same thing here. And the same thing here. Okay, so that is how you do that pattern. But what I want to show you is she has an alternate way to do it, and it's based on the fact that each one of these makes the letter Y. Do you see that? So there's a Y here, a Y, a Y, a Y in each one of those. And so she has an alternate way to do it. And we're going to start again with our square. I really fell in love with this, or doing this pattern, when I realized what she was talking about with this Y. It just made it so much easier to do. Okay, so I have my square. I'm going to do my line to that other corner. All right, I'm going to put a dot in the center of each of these triangles. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so now we're going to do that letter Y. So the first one is the stem of that letter. This one is going to line up with that dot. And this one is going to be parallel with this line. Okay, so there's our letter Y. We're going to do that 4 times. So here's the stem. The second one pointing to that dot. And the third one parallel with that. If you see it as a Y in each one of these, it suddenly becomes easy to do. And it does help when we actually do our tile if we keep these looking like they're lined up, because it's meant to be a ribbon going under another ribbon. Okay. Yeah, see, that one's not really lining up. So I'm going to bring that up a little bit. There we go. And then this one. All right. So make that out just a little bit. So there, we did it twice. And like I said, I find this one much easier to do. And the pattern that we're going to do today is this. So we're going to do a small ribbon, or border rather, that goes around, and then our ribbons are going to go underneath it. Now, you may choose to not go all the way out like that, and then in that case you could do it similar to this. And with this one, I did the colors to try to make it a little more obvious that there's a ribbon going under this. It goes under, flips, and comes out that way. Does that make sense? All right, so we're going to start by putting square borders. What I have here is a 4-inch by 4.5-inch tile. I don't think I said in the beginning, but I'm using a micron 01. I will be using a graphic one, my graphite pencil, my tortillon or blending stump, and quite possibly an eraser. So I'm going to start by putting my outside border square, however big you want it, And I tend to do mine without doing the 4 corner dots. Just trying to estimate a square. And I'll adjust if I need to. Pretty good, except I think that one needs to come up just a little bit. Okay. And then inside of that, I'm going to go ahead and put another border. Not very wide. Let's see. It's less than the width of my pen. About the width of my graphite pencil. Okay. I really did enjoy the Inktober tangles for 2021 and the videos. I always learn a lot. Okay, so I think mine is the way that I want it. So now I'm going to go ahead and ink it in with my 01. I'm using 01. Okay, so I've got my outside square. Do my inside border. Okay. Excuse me. Now we're going to do a diagonal line. We're just going to work on the inside right now. Something I try to remember, and I don't always do that, is when you're going from one point to the other, it helps to do this first and then watch where you're going, not where you've been. Ah, I did better. Okay, I'm going to erase that line. Okay, and now we're going to put that dot. So we're aiming for the center of this triangle, and it should kind of line up with that center. And we're going to do that in each of these triangles. Okay, now we're going to start to do that letter Y. Okay, we're going to do the stem and then the two top parts. So from here, we're going to go down, and it should be parallel with that. This one should line up with that other dot. And then this one will line up and be parallel with that. And ideally, that should have lined up with this one. We'll see if we can fix that when we get to it. Okay. We're going to go down. Line that one up with this one. Line that one up. And it should be parallel here. Okay. So we're going to do that in each of these. The stem first. That line. And then this line. And that looks like this should have been our center point. So let's go down from here. we're trying to line those up a little bit. Here, you can line that up. When I have a little, oops, like that, what I'll do is get a jelly roll since it's on a somewhat white tile, and then just put a little bit of white on top of that so it's not as obvious. And then I'll try not to touch it while it's drying. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're going to start to put the patterns inside of here. And the first one is simply just a darker line, a aura. And that's where I'm going to use the graphic one, because I want a thick line and I don't want to keep going back and forth with my O1. And a graphic one has a nice thick tip, kind of like a marker. So I just want to make a parallel line on this ribbon. Okay, it goes under that one. And it's coming out on this side. And then I'm going to do it on this one also. Okay, and then we're going to do it on this ribbon. So it's like this ribbon goes under here, flips under, comes this way, flips, and goes that way. It just really helps me to try to understand how these are working. And Zentangle is supposed to be non-representational, but this still looks like you've tied a bow in the center here. Okay, so that's those two. And in this other side, we're going to put just a thin border. So this is what we're going to do. Okay. So let's start here. I'm going to go ahead and put the one on this other side. So I like to have my pen pointed toward the border that I'm trying to aura. And then I'm going to flip it and do it on this side and this side. Okay, and inside of that, we're going to do the pattern Meer. And the way Meer works, let me just put it back here, is on the inside where we just put those two borders, we're going to put just a wavy line. And then we're going to put lines on a diagonal. Okay, all the way up. Then we're going to turn and put those lines coming the other way. And then when we do the shading, it really makes it pretty. Okay, so that's Meer. That is this one. Okay, and we're going to do that in this one that has the thinner borders. So I'm just going to start here at the top and start doing my wave. Pretend that it's going under. Be coming out about here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. No mistakes. Okay. And then I'm just going to start putting these at a diagonal. Okay, then turn it. These are going to come in this direction. I'm not worried about these being evenly spaced. And always remember when I'm doing repetitive lines like this, that in YouTube you can fast forward or make the speed go faster. But I don't normally speed up my videos. It is possible on this one when I do the border that I'll skip ahead a little bit though. I taught this to a group, and doing that outside border is a little bit repetitive. Okay, not so bad. All right, so that's Meer. Now the actual pattern also has these little orbs all along the outside, but we're not doing that part. And the next one that we're going to do is Porcelain. And that one's by Dina Schaffer. And the way that that one works is within that border that we have on the outside. Okay, we're going to start with just a curve, and then it's going to come back about halfway, can be more, and then we go on the top of that and go to the opposite side, come back. It's like we're making a leaf and we're pointing it in that opposite direction each time. Okay, and then the way she has it in her step out, so she puts these little dots here, but what I'm going to do is put the little dots back here instead. And the other thing that we'll do is add a little bit of hatching on each of the leaves. And it ends up making a really pretty border. And so I'm going to start here in this corner. I'm going to put my curve, bring the little leaf shape back. About halfway up, I'm going to come off of that and go in the opposite direction. Here we're going to go back in the opposite direction. And then we're just going to repeat that all the way around. And like I said, this gets really repetitive. So after I show you how to go around this corner, I will finish putting these in, and then I'll come back. Okay, so when I get to this corner, if I repeated what I was doing here, okay, so I have the corner right here, and I have just come back this way. Okay, normally I would come off like that, but then I can't do my opposite. So I'm just going to do this again. Okay, if that makes sense. And then I can keep coming off that corner. So I'm just going to come up and do that. And now I can go opposite again. All right. So I'm going to pause, and then I'll come back when I have this almost done. Okay, I'm to this second corner, and it's a little bit different. So I'm just going to show you again, just go up, make your leaf, and then turn. And then I'm going to have the leaf come in the opposite direction. And it's not going to matter how it looks in that corner. And the other thing I wanted to show you is how little that one came out. So my leaves are not consistent, and it's okay. Just enjoy what you're doing. All right, I'm pausing again. Okay, so I've come around and I'm almost to the end. I'm not sure how this one's going to work. Okay, so I'm just going to put another one up here in this corner. And that's going to be just fine. All right. So once you get the border all the way around, which is the way I tend to do it, now I'm going to add the hatching just a little bit in each corner of these little leaves. And then I'm going to put these little dots along the, I guess you would call it like the spine of the leaf. I do want to say that I gained 1,000 subscribers during Inktober, which just blows my mind. And I made new friends. I know this is a challenge for me when I do it, but I learned so much, and I'm so thankful for the support that I got, for the comments, and for Stephanie Jennifer and her lists. And I just really enjoyed it all. Okay, so there's one side done. See how quickly I can get this one done before I pause it, because it's really fun to look at this when it has just half of the leaves done, what kind of a difference it makes. It adds just enough drama to give it more detail, to give it more detail, if that made sense. Okay, there's that little one, and it's okay. Okay, so I always like to look at that and see the difference there is between this side and that side. All right, I'm going to add all my stippling and dotting. on these other two corners, and then I'll be back. All right, it's done. And, you know, I've probably said this before, but I just love repetitive, easy patterns like this because just like I did the stippling in each one, and then I came back and did the dots, and it's just very calming. That's what is so nice about the Zentangle method. Okay, so what we've done here, if you wanted to just stop here, you could. And then you could put other patterns on the outside here, more patterns on the inside. But I'm going to show you what to do next if you want to have it extend all the way out. And so you're just going to take the center line and we go under. Actually, I'm going to do this in pencil because I'm not going to do it on this pattern. I'm going to leave it the way it is. But if you wanted it to go all the way out, then you would just take your pen and extend that line and extend that one and put your dark lines in between. And then you would do that on all four sides. Like that. Okay. And like that. So that's how that would work if you want it to go out that whole way. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how to do the shading. And we're going to take our graphite pencil and go down that center wave in Meer and add some graphite there. Okay. This side also. And then we're going to put shading where this ribbon is going under and coming out on this side. So we're going to have shading there. This ribbon is going under this border here. So we're going to add some shading there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of shading where that ribbon curves and goes under. So this is on the inside on the ribbon. It goes under here and comes out here. It goes under this one. Okay. I'm going to take my blending stump and I'm going to pull my graphite in the direction of my lines a little bit on each side. Alternately, you can just totally put graphite on one side and not on the other. That's another way to show the shading on this. So we're just going to soften the graphite that we've laid down. And again, I'm pushing my graphite kind of in the direction of those lines. Okay. And then on the other side, I'm just going to put the graphite where it goes under this other ribbon. Put some where it curves. Okay, got both sides. And where it goes under this other border. And then we're going to soften that. All right, so I'm going to erase these lines that I put down as an example. And like I said, I did this one yesterday, so if you wanted your lines to go the whole way, that's how it would be looking. And I colored it. I used my color wheel, but I tell you, I don't like how it looks. I struggle with doing colors. I say again and again, I prefer to do it like this, where I just threw down color on here in just some soft pastel watercolors, and then put my tangle on top. But here we are, and I'm going to go ahead and put graphite on the outside of this border and on the inside just a little bit, all the way around. Oops, missed it here. Before I forget, on my ko-fi.com page, it's ko-fi.com/notperfectzen. I've talked about that's where you can go to donate, but I didn't fully realize that I can put blog posts and photos and things like that there. So I have put a couple of posts. One of them is some of my favorite links. So I'd encourage you to look at that. I thought about doing web pages, and then I thought better of it and didn't do it. It's just so much work, but I already have that ko-fi.com page, and I thought, well, why not just put some things there when I want to? They make it easy. All right, there we go. We did it. The other thing that I want to show you, and hopefully I can make it clear, on all of these, the diagonals are going from corner to corner because you have a square that you started with in the middle. If you look at this one, let's see if I can zoom out just a tiny bit. Okay, so if we look at this one, it's going in the middle, all right, instead of these corners. And if you see, that's where I started my square. So instead of having a square going this way, the square is in the middle. And what I did, and I don't think I have the piece of paper. Well, actually, I think I do. So I cut a little square and got it where I wanted it, and then drew a line around it to make my inner box like this. Okay. And then just went on with the pattern, same as usual. So instead of the lines going from corner to corner when you set them in there like this. These don't line up exactly, but this would have been that top line, etc. Hopefully that helps. All right. I think that's quite a few of these tiles that I have now. But I really enjoyed it. And I hope that this helps you to understand how to do this pattern. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you hadn't. If you like this, hit the like button. And I appreciate your support in all ways, whether it's the comments or through coffee.com. I love teaching you guys and hope you enjoyed it. Be safe, be well, and I'll see you next time. Bye.